What do you think? What about the black community, the minority community, blacks and browns, right? You talked about your Asian community. You talked about Jewish community. What about our community? What's your thoughts on our community?
Yeah, so speaking of which, I'm glad Angela's not holding it too much against me, but my daughter was one of the judges at the Jamaican Jerk Fest a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to mention how that ended up playing out. I thought there was a lot of talents on your plate that day.
Thank you.
At the celebrity cook-off.
He asked you about black people, and that's
what
comes to your mind?
No.
Jamaican
Listen,
jerk chicken?
I was just saying, we were together at the Jamaican Jerk Fest a couple weeks ago with Angela in Jamaica.
Terrible segue.
No. Well, that's when I was with Angela at the in Jamaica together.
No. The only reason I asked is because earlier you talked about Asian community and you talked
about
the Jewish
I
community,
understand.
But I feel like our community always gets left out.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, the most important thing is to show up. So, like, for example, that's one of the examples is, a couple weeks ago we were together and there was an amazing turnout. I don't know how many folks were there, maybe like 15, 17, 18, 20,000 people showed up in Queens for that event. I was at, a few days back, the National Night Out back in Southeast Queens, sitting down with black pastors and their first ladies in Sunnyside. I was in Harlem just a few days ago, actually doing a press conference. We were in that community multiple times. I remember I had a debate. It was Juneteenth, and they were asking me, like, what are you going to do to show up and work with the black community? I was like, well, actually, I just came here from Harlem that day. I co-chair the Congressional Caucus on Black-Jewish Relations. I created a caucus with John Lewis, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Deborah Lawrence, and Will Hurd. The relationship between, and I'm Jewish, I believe that the relationship between the Jewish community and the black community is historically misunderstood. You have had rabbis and other Jewish leaders marching with Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders and liberating concentration camps in World War II. An all-black battalion was the most decorated battalion going the furthest east and liberating Dunkerque. So the relationship's misunderstood. The most important thing if you want to earn someone's support is to show up. And to be able to talk to them about the issues that matter most. But so if you think about what we were talking about earlier, from education, kids stuck in multi-generational poverty, stuck in poor-performing schools, they should have access to that high-quality charter school. They should be able to get a higher quality education than they're getting right now, to stay in school, to be able to succeed in life, have a good-paying job waiting for them after they go. I believe that, as far as the system goes, we were talking earlier about one veteran who was released too early. There are people who they end up getting caught on the wrong end of the law, and the system itself kind of keeps them trapped in that. And it's a pipeline to prison inside of our schools. That's what has been spoken to me about the concern about some of these schools.
We know all of this already. Like you're saying,
I haven't heard you say what you're going to do.
And that's the reason why a lot of us don't mess with politicians, because we know all this already. Yes, it's
but education is important.
But how do we fix these problems? Minorities can't get homes, right? Because we can't get loans. And then if we do get homes and we try to sell our homes, we're in the lowest interest rate because we're black. Our education is messed up. We can't get books. We can't get supplies. That, they pull us over way more than anybody else. The marijuana, we've been affected by marijuana and cannabis the most, and it's harder for us to get a license for marijuana and cannabis. So it gets to the point where how do we help? You know what I mean? And I get it. You judge Angela's Jamaican
jerk
fest,
chicken,
but that doesn't help
no,
us.
You've been to Harlem. That's great.
All right, no. So my point.
What's the legislation?